Bold offer by Hamas today. This bold ultimatum by Hamas to a stalled Israeli government under immense internal and international pressure, at the same time as Iran is moving chess pieces across the Middle East and Eastern Europe. At the heart of this volatile triangle lies a proposal now, a so-called comprehensive package from Hamas, all hostages in exchange for all Palestinian prisoners, an end to the war, and the rebuilding of Gaza. Khalil al-Hayya, the head of Hamas's Gaza operations and the lead negotiator, publicly rejected Israel's proposed 45-day interim ceasefire. His argument is simple. Partial agreements, in his view, are political ruses designed by Netanyahu to sustain a war of extermination and starvation while superficially appearing to engage in diplomacy. What Hamas now offers is a total exchange, not just some hostages, but all, 59 by Israel's count, freed in return for thousands of Palestinian detainees, and critically the permanent end of hostilities. Hamas is gambling that the rising Israeli body count, mounting international scrutiny, the families of hostages, and the move towards peace across Israeli society will break Netanyahu's domestic support. Yet Hamas remains defiant on the key issue, which is disarmament. Hayya declares that the right to bear arms is non-negotiable, ensuring that even if a truce is achieved, the seeds of the next war are already sown. Israel's response is predictably cautious. Officials refuse to interpret Hamas's declaration as a formal rejection. That ambiguity speaks volumes. Jerusalem is under immense strain. Netanyahu is trapped. He cannot appear weak, nor can he afford the perception of prioritizing military destruction over hostage recovery. Moreover, his far-right coalition partners, who prop up his fragile government, oppose any deal that doesn't involve the obliteration of Hamas and the full military occupation of Gaza. To accept Hamas's terms would be to admit defeat on multiple fronts, political, military, and ideological. But to refuse is to risk the lives of hostages, prolong suffering, and fuel international condemnation. Egypt and Qatari mediators have made modest progress in January, securing a temporary ceasefire, but those talks have withered. Hamas now refuses interim steps, accusing Israel of bad faith, and Israeli negotiators in turn describe Hamas's counter-proposals as impossible. The Cairo talks on April the 15th ended in deadlock, and Israel's demand that Hamas lay down arms was instantly rejected. Meanwhile, Hamas maintains its yes but strategy, publicly welcoming ceasefire proposals while privately loading them with conditions that Netanyahu they know cannot accept. Now, pivot to Iran, and on April the 17th, the Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi arrived in Moscow bearing a letter from the Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei for President Putin, ostensibly about nuclear negotiations, but the timing is suspicious. Iran, long allied with Hamas and Hezbollah, is quietly expanding its regional influence, arming Russia in Ukraine, cementing military ties with Moscow, and issuing veiled threats of escalation should Israel or the US cross red lines. Araghchi's letter, while not public, likely contains a warning that Iran will not sit idly by if its proxies in Gaza are extinguished. Let's not forget that Tehran sees Hamas not only as a militant ally, but as a forward operating base in its ideological and strategic struggle with Israel and the West. And also, of course, the likelihood is that Iran already has nuclear weapons. Rather like Israel, it would just go very quiet about what exactly it's got and how it can deploy them. So we're left with three truths. Hamas wants legitimacy and survival, not merely negotiations. Its demand is maximalist because it believes Israel will blink first. Netanyahu seeks to destroy Hamas, but the hostages complicate the plan morally and politically. Iran is preparing for regional leverage, not through direct war, but through diplomacy backed by weapons, enriched uranium, and an alliance with an embattled Kremlin. This is no longer a local conflict, and the two big conflicts at the moment in Ukraine and in Gaza are intertwined through the meddling of Iran. It's a regional proxy war, but with global implications. In short, Hamas's hostage proposal is less a peace offering than a challenge, a rejection of incremental diplomacy and a bid to reframe the entire war narrative. The Middle East sits at an inflection point, and Iran's appearance in Moscow may signal that the next escalation will not be in Gaza or in Kyiv, but in both. And the hand of Iran will be firmly on the tiller. As ever, the cost is paid by civilians. Hostages, prisoners, ordinary people living under the shadow of missiles, mistrust, and militant ideology.